Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 40k channel and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. Tonight we're doing 1,850 points of an ITC mission. So, myself, Jonathan and Robin are heading up to the Northwest Open in January. And Jonathan has never done one of these missions, so it's kind of a test trial game for him with his list to see how he gets on. So we are doing ITC mission 1, which is basically Crusade. With a modified Maelstrom mission. Objective 2 is down here in the ruined Mechanicum building. Objective number 1 for this side of the battlefield is up on the middle floor of the Administratum buildings. And then over on the other side of the battlefield we have number 1 in the ruined Cathedral. And then finally we have number 2 hidden away in the middle floor of the Mechanicum building over here. HQ for the Space Wolf tonight. I'm running my newly finished Iron Priest on a wolf. This guy comes equipped with a servo harness, a thunder hammer and a Hellfrost pistol, and is obviously on his trusty mount. Over to troops, I am running a 7-man Grey Hunter squad in a Rhino, another 7-man Grey Hunter squad in a Rhino. All of these guys are equipped with their bolters, bolt pistols and chainswords. Over to fast attack, I am running a 3-man Thunderwolf cavalry squad, all equipped with storm shields, 2 with chainswords and 1 with a thunder hammer. They will be joining the Iron Priest this evening. They will be his cover and they will be his support. Next fast attack choice, I am running 5 Fenrisian Wolves. These guys will be outflanking and coming on from the board edge. Over to elites, I am running a 5-man Wolfrin squad, all equipped with the Great Claws. They will be running up the board and hopefully getting in and chopping up the Tau. The next elite choice, I'm running a 5-man Terminator squad, all equipped, well, not all equipped, 3 of them are equipped with Wolf Claws and 2 with Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields, and they will be riding around the battlefield in their Land Raider. And this evening, the Space Wolves are joined by a Freeblade. We have a Night Warden with his Gatler on the board. So that is my 1,850 points of Space Wolves that are taking on the Tau this evening.
HQ choice is a commander in a Crisis battle suit. He's got a fusion blaster and he's got a cyclic iron raker, joined by Cadra Fireblade. The Cadra Fireblade is budding up with an 8-man Fire Warrior squad that will have a Devilfish as a transport. Got 2 other Fire Warrior squads, a 6-man and a 5-man. Got 2 squads of Crisis battle suits. 1 basically loaded out, fully equipped with plasma, and then 1 is a bit of a do-all list. It's got a little bit of everything in there. Both of those squads have shield drones with them. In the heavy support slot, I've got my Hammerhead, not long strike, just to keep the points down. It's a stock Hammerhead with smart missile system. Alongside that, I've also got an optimized stealth cadre with 2 sets of 4-man stealth suits, each with a MacLeod drone, and the Ghost Keel with his drones. These guys will probably be deep striking in. I'm going to have a little think about it, decide, but they'll probably deep strike in. And I've got a fire-based cadre with 2 broadsides, 1 with fusion guns and plasma rifles, 1 with smart missile system. I've got 4 drones split between those 2 individual squads. 1 of them is all missiles, 1 of them is a shield drone and a missile drone, and then we've got the Riptide. Hurrah! He's going to be kitted out pretty much base points, so fusion blasters, the ion gun rather than the big huge template jobby. Pretty much, yeah, just a standard kind of guy really. So there's my 1850 points.
The first of the Space Wolves, Rhino with his 7-man Grey Hunter squad inside. He's sitting on the edge of the battlefield, engine ticking over. He is sitting right on an objective, and he is being supported by the might and firepower of the Land Raider with his cargo of the Terminators. He's got a nice clean path up into the Tau lines. Next to him, there is the monster that is the Night Warden with his Gatler. This guy is looking at putting down lots of fire into the town. Now, it's the first time I've used one of my knights, so you can guarantee that it will blow up and kill half my army in the first turn. But to the right-hand side of the battlefield, we have the second of my rhinos right next to the other objective. And we have the Thunderwolf Cavalry, the Iron Priest, and the Wolfkin on the right-hand flank of the battlefield, looking at tearing their way across the field and getting into those Tau lines as quickly as possible. Warlord trait for the Space Wolves is Saga of the Wolfkin, so basically any beast or cavalry get Furious Charge. That's quite a nice Warlord trait to run.
So I got my Devilfish with one of the Fire Warrior squads tucked away around the back of the building. My Commander and his accompanying squad, again, tucked slightly out the way, but ready to move in towards the centre of the battlefield down there. Pick up the Wolfrun. Fire Warrior squad number 1, on foot that is at least, tucked away behind the building, just looking to walk onto that objective shortly.
Yeah, you wish.
Devilfish, tucked away again, fully expecting Rich to get first turn, with a squad in front of it, just to act as a bit of a meat shield. Broadsides, typical broadside deployment, just hanging out. Plenty of targets, as you can see from there. Also conveniently sitting on the objective. Piranha ready to do what Piranha does best, if you've seen that behaving before. And then the Riptide's tucked away down here as well. I'm looking to use all of the buffs that you get as part of that heavy support cadre, looking to boost each other's fire. So that's a deployment. Oh, I forgot about these guys down here. So the other crisis suits, plasma ready, waiting to destroy the contents of that Land Raider when the time comes. Okay, so my Warlord trait is a benefit that for one turn only, anybody within 12 inches of this guy, if they get a 1 in the roll to hit, they can re-roll that. So
that's pretty crap.
Yeah, it's pretty pants. I did choose to re-roll it, but I actually got the same result, so I'm kind of stuck with it. But it might come in handy, you never know.
So it is the Space Wolves to go first, but Jonathan is going to try and seize the objective for me, which he doesn't. The Wolfkin have started their move up the battlefield. These guys I rolled on the hunt table and I managed to roll a 5, so they've got bestial swiftness. So basically it's add 3 inches to their move, run and assault moves. So these guys have moved 9 inches. I'm obviously going to run them. I'm hoping for another 6, to be honest, on the dice roll, so that I might actually be able to get into assault with this on the first turn, which would just be epic. Thunderwolf Cavalry have also started their move. They have also gone their 12 with the Iron Priest. They are looking at coming into the Warlord choice for the Tau with the crisis suits. They're a little way off really getting into assault just this turn, so they're going to have to take some fire. Hopefully they will survive and do their damage next turn. Joining them on the 12-inch charge up the board is my Knight. This guy's got quite a few targets that he'll be able to shoot at. I'm not sure where I'm going to put their fire, but this thing's got some really nice options going on down here. And also, finally, the Land Raider has moved up 12 inches as well. This guy has gunned it. We are literally really, really close now to the Tau lines. My Maelstrom missions this turn are hold objective 1 and hold objective 2. So my 2 rhinos have moved. So the first one has moved up onto objective 1. It is hunkered down inside the building. And the second rhino holding onto objective 2 for me has literally parked itself inside a garage, holding the objective. And no Tau can see him at all. The Land Raider opened up with his 1 sponson, snap firing, hitting the Riptide but doing no damage whatsoever. The crisis suits down here have lost their shield drone. The Gatler gun of the Knight opened up at it. I managed to get 4 Wrens. 4 of them, and yet John saved them all. So only a shield drone gone from down here. And then finally the Wolfkin. I managed to roll a 5 on their run move, so they have gone 8 inches. It is a 10-inch charge into the Devilfish back there. But I am plussing 3 inches. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to give it a go. The Wolfkin made it into combat with the Devilfish. Rolled quite high. I think I rolled like a 9 plus the extra 3 inches on it. So yes, it has come in handy. They got into combat in the first turn. They have destroyed the Devilfish. One of my Wolfkin was pulled down from Overwatch fire from the crisis suits over here because of all of the shenanigans that the Tau can pull. These guys have had to disembark from the back of that Devilfish. We have our next target cleaning our sights. With the Devilfish going pop and boom in the first turn, that scores me first strike. That does replace first blood, so it is literally destroy something in the first turn, which the Wolfkin have very kindly done for me.
2 objectives that I've pulled out are, 1, to have plenty of units inside my own deployment area and nothing of riches, which leaves me a bit of a problem with the Wolfren down here. I also don't like them already, based on what I've seen. So I'm going to use 3 units to get the roll to hit buff. I'm going to use crisis suits that have moved up onto the building. I'm going to use my commander, and I've got the squad that have recently had their transport removed from them as units to fire at the Wolfren, get the buffs, hopefully remove those, which will hopefully score me that objective, all being well. The Fire Warriors down here have just moved up onto the objective. My Hammerhead has moved to counter the Knight. He's got his shield arc on the right hand side, which makes a lot of sense because I've got broadsides up here.
Thank you.
So that does give me the opportunity to have a free shot with the Devilfish, which the Hammerhead, which is nice.
You're going to miss anyway.
Possibly. But my broadsides aren't going to be firing at the Knight anyway. I want that Land Raider out the game. And I've got 2 units there firing at the Land Raider. Plus my Riptide is going to fire at the Land Raider too. So that's going to give me the roll to hit buff that I need. Then I've got my Crisis guys up here waiting to destroy the Juicy Cargo from within. And the Suicide Piranha has been mobilised. See if I can take down the Rhino that's conveniently parked in the garage. And yeah, that's the game plan. Let's see how it pans out in shooting. So almost achieved what I wanted down here. There is 1 Wolfren left with 1 wound, which means I'm not going to score that particular victory condition, which is a bit of a shame. Even after all this ridiculous amount of firepower. I did also use that Warlord trait. The one that I said would be useless. It turns out I kept turning out ones, so I used that in anger, and it did help a little bit. But yeah, there is still 1 guy left down there, which is a little bit irritating. Yeah, talking about irritating, this guy down here, free shot at the Knight, no shields in play whatsoever. So then we go and roll Snake Eyes on the armor penetration, score a 12 and fail to penetrate. Well done. Hurrah! But there is some positive news. So the broadsides and the Riptide together managed to glance that Land Raider to death. And to add insult to injury, the Crisis Suit squad up here managed to pepper the Terminators that came stumbling out the Raging Inferno and wiped out that squad too. So I do get the victory condition there for killing an enemy unit. Shame I can't score it twice.
And first strike.
And first strike as well. Thanks, Rich. Oh, and the Suicide Piranha. Yeah, it was going to be a bit of a punt going through that window anyway. He failed to hit. I'm not sure it's going to be a suicide run, but he's down there anyway. Potentially a little bit vulnerable now. Okay, so assault moves. We've come down from the building. There's some wolves over there coming this way. It doesn't look good, so we're taking a bit of a step back. Down here, assault moves. Well, given that there's no Terminators coming out of that anytime soon, we're just going to take advantage and move forward and start inching our way towards that objective over there.
No, you're not. My Fenrisian wolves are on. They have come screaming on from the left-hand side of the battlefield. Now, obviously, they can't assault this turn, but they have got the Piranha there. The guys in the Rhino have jumped out. They're looking at putting bolter shells into that Piranha, but they are still holding that objective 2 because my objectives this turn are hold objective 1 and hold objective 2 again. I can definitely take that. My knight has moved up. It has moved up its full distance. It is looking at the crisis suit, nicely within charge range, nicely within gun range. Second of my rhinos has stayed still, securing me objective 1. My one remaining wolfkin has passed his morale check. He also has predatory pounce, so he will be going into assault. He will get Hammer of Wrath. He will be going into the crisis suits and the warlord, but before he enters in, the Thunderwolf cavalry will be going in. They are nicely within combat range now. So we're going to get Hammer of Wraths from the Thunderwolf cavalry, Hammer of Wraths from the one remaining Wolfkin. If he gets pulled down, he does get to hit again as he dies. The bolters from the Grey Hunters have opened up at the Piranha, causing one glance. Unfortunately, it was jinked, so this guy is untouched. If he hangs around here for the next turn, he is going to get assaulted. The Knight opened up with his heavy stubber down here into the crisis suits, killing one off, which is quite lucky, to be honest. Some terrible dice rolling for Jonathan. The Gatler gun opened up at the Riptide, doing one wound. So this guy probably has about 65 million left. There is going to be an assault from the Knight. The only other thing to shoot was the Hellfrost pistol from the Iron Priest. He opened up at the crisis suits, hit, and then rolled a 1. It's the only thing I didn't need, and I managed to roll a 1. Well done, mate. That was really well done. The Knight made it into combat with the crisis suits down here, killing them all off quite easily with his D weapon. He did take quite a lot of fire, because when you charge Jeff the Tau, everybody starts shooting you as you go in, but Jeff died. So I have consolidated 5 inches. I am right on this Riptide. It is going to die. No matter where John takes it, I am going to kill it next turn. The Wolfrin and the Thunderwolf's cavalry made it into combat with the crisis suits and just basically annihilated them. The Wolfrin managed to kill, I think, 2 of them off on his own. Thunderwolf cavalry chainswords did no damage, but then the Thunderhammer just swung round and crushed the skull of the blue fishy man. So we're now right on his warlord.
So as the old saying goes, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Thanks, Meatloaf.
Thank you. And one of them is the Ghost Kill, and the other one is Stealth Suit Squad. And they are in the game, getting involved. Thanks for coming. For those of you who watch these bat reps on a regular basis, you'll know that my optimized Stealth Cadre is not necessarily always that good at turning up on time, but yeah, today they want to get involved. In the rest of the movement phase, the Piranha has made a cheeky grab for Rich's deployment zone. One of my objectives this turn is to get one of my units inside the deployment zone. So there he is. Riptide, not necessarily that keen on getting mullered by a Knight. So using his movement to his advantage to get away. Has also left an interesting situation with the broadsides over there and the hammerhead behind. You definitely can't have shields on 3 faces. So that gives me a little bit of a bonus when it comes around to shooting. Across the middle of the battlefield, well, I've already mentioned it, the hammerhead has just consolidated his position really on that bit of terrain, keeping a line of sight. My commander is also not keen on getting ripped apart by rampaging wolves and stray dogs and stuff. So he's bugging out as well, but he's still been able to shoot. And the Fire Warrior squad down the back there with the Fireblade Cadre are just lining themselves up to take a few pot shots at stray dogs. Bit of pest control going on down there. Okay, so thanks to a little bit of a boost from the Fireblade Cadre, the stray dogs are more or less destroyed, albeit there's one stray Wolfrin left. And the Iron Priest on a...
Yes, well done.
Iron Priest on a wolf thing?
Yes, well done.
Yeah, him. He's still going. They did get a fair amount of firepower from over the back there and from the commander as well. The Knight still standing, but he got a proper peppering from the hammerhead down here, from the broadsides and the Riptide. He has 1 whole point left to his name. And on closer inspection with the Piranha, he can't make a shot on the Rhino over there, but it is, as it stands, still inside the deployment zone down there. If it makes it through the turn, that is another objective scored for me. In addition to the fact that I've wiped out the Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Learn my army.
Oh, and if that wasn't good enough, then down here as well, Ghost Keel and the Stealth Squad have destroyed the Rhino. None of the passengers got hurt, but the Rhino itself is destroyed. That's quite nice too. We will take their metal boxes away from them. Hurrah! Okay, so Tau assault moves. Now, the commander didn't get the best roll in the world. He moved 3 inches backwards, but I guess every inch counts. And it's just opened up the charge range a little bit from these guys, who no doubt will be after some form of revenge. The Ghost Keel got a pretty decent assault move, 9 inches. So I'm moving him out of the way. Just don't really fancy getting charged by, well, anybody really, because I'm Tau. But I'm not keen on getting chopped in close combat, so he's moving out. I did get a really good roll on the stealth suit guys, actually, and somewhat possibly counterintuitively at first glance, I've moved them forwards, but the reason I've done that is my Piranha is possibly a little bit flimsy, and if it does get shot up, then that's my only way of scoring that objective. Well, it was initially, but now these guys are firmly in the deployment zone. I've got a bit of contingency going on, so Richard's got to destroy that squad and that unit over there if he wants to score the points. So we'll see if that helps and secures a victory point. The Riptide got a fairly mediocre roll for his movement, and of course with the Knight moving 12 inches I'm probably not going to get away, but I have increased my chances slightly.
My objectives this turn are hold objective 2 and destroy an enemy unit. So my Knight is coming in to the Riptide. This guy needs to go. The amount of firepower this guy puts down is quite scary, so I'm going to try and shoot him and then hopefully take him out in combat. The Grey Hunter squad down here that is holding my objective 2 is come out of their cover a little bit with the Fenrisian Wolves who have charged round. They are looking at taking out the Piranha, taking him out of my deployment zone. The Grey Hunters from inside the building have also stepped out. They are looking at taking out the Stealth Squad, removing them from my deployment zone, hopefully denying Jonathan that victory point. My Wolfkin has moved up. I've also ran in 1 inch just to get him slightly closer for combat. His roll on the hunt table this turn was a 6, so he gets reckless ferocity, so D3 extra attacks instead of the standard 1, and the Iron Priest is here with him. So I'm thinking the Wolfkin will go in first to soak up any Overwatch shots, probably killing him, but the Iron Priest is then free to go in and kill off the Warlord. The Grey Hunters have peppered the Stealth Squad suit with their bolt pistols, killing off one of them and taking off the shield drone. They will be going into assault. I want these guys out of my back lines. I also want this Piranha to go. The Grey Hunters have opened up with their bolters, rapid firing, no damage done whatsoever. So the Fenrisian Wolves are going to go in and claw and chew this Piranha to death. The Knight flamed and opened up with a heavy stubber on the Riptide. No damage done. The big Gatler gun. The Knight did something cheeky and swiveled it round. Opened it up at the broadsides. Killing off one shield drone off the one squad. It's a sad day for the Imperium. The Knight made it into combat, but this Riptide got so lucky with his Overwatch shots. He got 2 6s and then he got 2 6s again, taking off the remainder of my hull points. It blew up in his face. He was underneath the strength 10 and then I rolled a like 1 something silly. So yeah, no damage done to this guy, so the Imperial Knight has gone. On better news in the combat phase, the Piranha has gone. He was pulled down by the Fenrisian Wolves. Managed to like hit with all of them apart from one and then just chewed it. These guys just clawed their way across the hull, destroying it. So that is 1 unit out of my deployment zone. The other unit that was in my deployment zone was the Stealth Squad. They are also gone. They have been pulled down by my Grey Hunters. These guys have consolidated 6 inches back. They are in the open. I was torn. We have the Ghost Kill and we also have the broadsides at the top that can pretty much see these guys. So I've had to kind of space them out and just hope for the best. The Tau commander has also fallen. The Wolfkin was pulled down to overwatch fire, but the Iron Priest made it in and just hit him with his Thunderhammer, killing him off. So he's consolidated back 6 inches. He's now on the back of the Hammerhead, or he's got another squad of Fire Warriors to kill off if he needs to. If he survives, he has only got 1 wound left. I did score destroy an enemy unit. I killed a few of them. And then I've also got secure objective 2. So that will score the first at the start of my next turn. But I do get Slay the Warlord as well. So that's 2 victory points so far and a third up for grabs.
Okay, so the other stealth suit squad is in. One dies, the other squad appears. And they've already moved a little way around the building from their initial landing point to get a shot on these guys down here. I feel the need to get to my own back for some unfortunate shooting that happened earlier. My Hammerhead has made its way across the building and is now looking down at these guys as well. It's complete overkill, but turns out there is no armor to shoot anymore, so we may as well use it in some capacity or other. My Riptide, I don't quite know what I'm going to do there yet. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But rest assured, he will be bugging out because combat is no fun if you're Tau. So he won't be sticking around to reap the rewards of his shooting. Broadsides have stayed put, as you would expect. The Thunderwolf down here is now faced with 1 squad of Fire Warriors over there and 1 over there, and these guys, if they're, I don't think they're actually in range realistically, but we'll check. There's a lot of shooting anyway with 1 wound. Don't hold out a lot of hope for him. So the Iron Priest on the Wolf died miserably. One squad there shot him. There was another 2 squads. It actually turned out these guys were actually in range as well, just for completeness. But they didn't need to shoot because the first squad wiped him out anyway. Moving up here, the Hammerhead fired down at Grey Hunters down there, and one of them I think got taken off from there. The Broadsides also managed to remove a couple of models from down there too. The Stealth Suit squad had line of sight on as well, and they took 2 models I think down. So how many's left now?
3.
And the 3 guys rallied. The Ghost Kill can't see them anymore, so he couldn't get shot on. So he's a little bit cross about that. The Riptide managed to get 3 those guys down there taken down. The remainder of the squad has rallied. So that's all the shooting done. I'm now going to bug out. So my objectives were to wipe out an enemy unit, which I've done by wiping out the Iron Priest. And the other one is to make sure I've got a unit inside the enemy deployment zone. Just to try and make sure that happens, I've used my assault move. Put the Ghost Kill well over here and put the Stealth Squad behind a box. So there's a bit of cover going on there. It should protect me and make sure those units survive a round of shooting and avoid assault. And yes, my Riptide's a coward. And he got 7 inches, so he's moving back and not getting involved in any of that dirty hand-to-hand business.
The Grey Hunters have moved through the ruins of the building, and so have the Fenrisian Wolves. They are looking at shooting and going into combat with the Riptide, maybe, possibly destroying it and taking it off the board. There isn't much left for the Space Wolves. I've got this Grey Hunter squad, I've got the Fenrisian Wolves, and I've got the 3 remaining guys down here. Now, I was really torn because they were standing here. I could have moved them over here, tried to get into the Stealth Squad, but it's going to be a 9-inch charge, or come after the Hammerhead, which is a 7-inch charge. So I've decided to go after the Hammerhead because, obviously, Fire Warriors are going to be overwatching me, but I've got more chance of surviving that fire than I have the fire of this guy as I go into combat. My objectives this turn are destroy an enemy unit twice, so I need to pop them. I did score 2 victory points in the last turn, so I need to destroy something. Destroy something. Do you hear me, Wolves? Destroy something. The Grey Hunters opened up with their pistols at the Riptide, doing no damage. They then went to charge in. I lost 2 to Overwatch fire, but they did, however, pass their morale check. It was like an 11-inch charge, and I rolled like 4, so they weren't going in. However, my Fenrisian Wolves made it into combat, doing 2 wounds to the Riptide, but no damage back, and he has passed his leadership. This guy has got 2 wounds left. Will he be balled down by a pack of wolves? The second Grey Hunter squad made it into combat with the Hammerhead, doing 2 glancing hits. So we've got 2 hull points off this thing. There is 1 left.
So my objectives for this turn are to look after objective number 2, which is underneath there, which is nice, and also to destroy an enemy unit. And in order to do that, hopefully, my Hammerhead has taken a little backup, and I've got a squad there, and my Fire Warrior's just there to do some shooting. Just focusing on the main objective, I guess. I've got my stealth squad and my ghost kill that are making their way towards the objective over there. My poor Riptide is currently bogged down with a pack of stray animals, which is a little irritating. Nothing I can do, really. It's silly. I think I'm going to end up...
That's what you
probably will end up dying at some point. But we can string that out for a little bit longer, all being well. The only downside is, of course, I can't shoot at them, which I'd really like to put those guys down.
Not the puppies.
Put the puppies down. I can't, unfortunately. There you go. It sucks a little. So one of my objectives was to kill an enemy unit, and that has been successfully achieved by the Hammerhead. Ooh. With some assistance from the broadsides up there.
Stupid towel.
Down here, well, that was an exciting little event, wasn't it? So Rich got 2 hits and needed 6s to wound. Caused 1 wound, which was nullified with feel no pain. I was then inept and failed to wound back again.
Good old tower in combat.
So drawn combat, nothing happened. Hurrah! In other news, assault moves have allowed the ghost kill to go hug the objective, and the stealth suit guys are not far behind.
So my first objective was hold objective 2, which my Rhino is still doing, sitting in the garage. And then I also had destroyed enemy units. So my 2 Grey Hunters went into combat with the Riptide. They joined in with the Wolves. No damage done this turn, and the Riptide managed to kill off 2 of the Wolves. It's a sad day. I shed a tear when any of my Wolves get pulled down. So it's still drawn combat.
So my stealth suit squad made a little break for the deployment zone so we can get line breaker. So in the combat at the opposite end of the table, the Riptide managed to kill off yet another puppy without suffering any wounds itself. But again, a successful rally means those guys are still in the fight, and it's still going to carry on.
So that is the end of turn 5. I am damn determined to kill this Riptide. So we're going to roll up, see if we get a turn 6. No, we do not. So there we go then, guys. That is the end of the game, totting up the victory points. For the primary crusade, Jonathan has 1 objective, 2 objectives, 3 objectives to my 1 objective that my Rhino is sitting on in the garage. That's 4 victory points. For the secondary, it is 8 victory points to 7 to the Tau. That was really, really close. I had 1 turn with the Space Wolves where I scored nothing. I think that's pretty much cost me the secondary on that one. So that's another 4 victory points for the Tau. And for the tertiary, Jonathan scored Linebreaker. The stealth suits are doing that. Slay the Warlord and First Strike. The Space Wolves scored First Strike and Slay the Warlord. So it is 11 victory points to 2 to the Tau. The Tau quite horrible again. Space Wolves, I think turn 4 pretty much turned that for the Wolves. I think losing my Knight and my Iron Priest in 1 turn was quite horrible, and this damn Riptide did not die. So please leave us a comment, guys. What do you think? What do you think of Jonathan's list that he's taken to the Last Chance Open? How do you feel he will do? My Space Wolves, this is not the list I'm taking. I'm still building up more Thunderwolf Cavalry and Wolfkin for my list. Please leave us a like. It does really help out the channel. Why not subscribe if you haven't done so already? And we will see you guys on the next one.